If you right now are stuck repeating the same old patterns and you're like, wait a minute, I thought I healed from this. I thought I did the work from this. I thought I was in so much better of a place, but here I am again in the same scenario. What is going on? Let's talk about it today. Why we go back to things that we have already healed from. Welcome back to another episode of Way Too Wifey. I'm your host, respectfully Gabby, and in this podcast, we talk all things dating. Wait a minute. We're talking all things life. Guys, I'm in the midst of a rebrand. I have been talking about dating, relationships for the longest time. This podcast has been going on for 3.5 years. I'm going to continue talking about dating and relationships. I think that's a major part of life, but it is time to grow. It's time to evolve. It's time to talk about other things. We're talking all things life, about growth mindset, about how to be your best you. With this rebrand, I am taking a big step back from coaching. I won't be doing my 8-week program. I may still keep open the one-on-one calls if you want to just book in whenever you want a single session with me, just because I do like chatting with you guys. I like being able to help. This is the last time that you can purchase my 8-week program because I will be discontinuing it going into 2026. With that being said, again, link in bio. If you're curious about it, if you just want to learn more about it, book a call with me. I'm here. I'm open. It's completely free to book a discovery call. I'm also running a major special since it is the last time you can purchase this. The moment that you catch yourself thinking like, hold on, why is this popping back up? Currently there's a retrograde going on. I don't know, by the time this airs, it might be over. Regardless, there's a retrograde going on. There's so many planets in retrograde. What does that mean? A lot of shit from the past is being brought back up for you to look at, for you to evaluate, for you to heal from. And if you've done the work, if you've truly done the work, you won't repeat the same patterns. However, if you do end up repeating the same patterns, that's okay. Give yourself a little grace. You are human. We all make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you're learning from the mistakes and being conscious. This is a mistake that I'm making right now. And I get that. And why am I doing that? The first step truly is awareness. So if you're aware that you are continuing the same pattern of toxicity or things that you thought you've grown from or moved on from, it's okay. You're aware that that's happening and that's great. But I think that life sometimes brings up things from the past to see if we've healed from them, to see how we're going to respond moving forward, to see if we are changed and we're a different person now and it no longer bothers us. And trust me when I say you will continue to get the same tests over and over and over again from the universe and God or whatever you want to call it. But you will continue the same patterns until you're like, actually, this isn't working for me anymore. I'm done with this. You have to be so fed up with your own BS, your own shit that you've been allowing into your life that you're like, I refuse to let this continue in my life. I'm done now. I'm moving on from this. If I have to deal with this shit over and over again, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm taking a step back. I'm removing myself from the equation. And that's when you know that you are actually growing and you're moving on. It's okay to repeat old patterns. Sometimes in life, there's reasons why in school, each year you go into, you start relearning all of the stuff from the year before because sometimes it needs to get locked in your brain. Like, okay, back to the basics. Let's remember all of the things that we've already learned. And once that becomes so far drilled in your head, like, okay, now I got it. Don't want to do that anymore. We're moving on. Sometimes our default is to go for what's comfortable. Our default is to go for the things in life that we already know the ending to, that we can predict what's going to happen next. Sometimes our default is that, and that default isn't always the best option. It's not always the healthy option. It's not always going to get us to where we want to go. Sometimes that option is actually really toxic. It has to happen a couple of times for you to wake up from it and be like, I don't ever want to experience that again. If you're in a really toxic relationship and it's one of them ones It's one of the relationships that you keep going back to, and you keep getting sucked into it each and every time this person decides to pop back in randomly when it's convenient for them. They pop back into your life, letting your guards down, with your arms open, and allowing this toxic person to come back into your life. I've been there way too many times. There will come a point in time where enough is enough, and you actually cannot do it anymore. Sometimes you have to get to that rock bottom, to the point where I no longer want to tolerate this anymore. I need to walk away for my own safety, for my own sanity, for my own peace. Maybe it's them exiting your life that allows you to heal and grow and move on from it. But regardless of what it is, things will be removed from your life when you've learned the lesson, when you've moved on, when it's time to grow past this, when life is trying to open new doors for you. But if you've not learned your lesson from that person, from that thing, from that whatever, life will put you right back in where you thought you've grown from. I found myself even recently going back into patterns from the past of self-sabotaging and like getting into these, not toxic, but these relationships that are like maybe emotionally unavailable, knowing that they're emotionally unavailable and knowing that there's no future there, but I'm still entertaining it. And I'm like, do I even want a relationship right now? I thought I've gotten to the point finally where I'm like open to the idea of a relationship. I finally feel like I've gotten myself to a point where I'm healed and I'm good and I want the healthy dynamic. And now I literally have been reflecting on everything, questioning everything in my life. Like, what is it that I'm really looking for, that I really want from someone else? I feel pretty full on my own. Like, I feel like I don't necessarily need someone else in my life, but to have someone else there that I actually loved and cared about would be great, of course. But I think when you get so set in your own ways, it's so hard to find like that perfect fit for you. And of course, there's going to be differences, problems, whatever, in every relationship in your life. Like, you're going to have differences with people. That's okay. That's part of a relationship. To find someone who is aligned in what we're looking for and what we want, I just think it is such a hard find. So I'm like, what is it that's going to make me fulfilled? Because if I'm allowing a man in my life, it's got to be real special, because I'm actually really happy and really at peace in my life right now. I think I'm really like, I've never been in this position where I'm like, we all want the marriage, the kids, the house, the whatever, but why do we want those things? Am I wanting those things because society is telling me that I want those things, or do I actually want those things in my life? It's coming with a bit of an identity crisis, because I have been so like dating, relationships, this is my brand, this is my identity, coming to this conclusion, like, do I want that in my own life? And not that I have to resonate with that to understand it, but I don't know. I really just don't know. And I think it's okay to not know the direction of which things happen. I think each and every person that you meet is going to bring a different perspective and teach you and a lot of things about yourself and about how you view relationships. And there's been so many people coming into my life that have just made me think so differently about relationships and how I want to show up and what's actually going to be fulfilling for me. And maybe someone else doesn't agree with it. It's okay to want different things. I always think about, like, I don't know the answer to this, guys, but I always think about Brie from Selling Sunset and Nick Cannon and how he has so many different baby mamas, how he has so many different situations going on, but she's getting all of her needs met. Like, he shows up as a dad, he shows up as a partner, but then he's still like a dad and partner to however many other moms, but it works for them and everything's fine. Is that coming from a place of major trauma where they just don't trust anything and they're telling themselves that they're happy and they're okay with that? Or is this actually something that they're okay with? I don't know. I think I've just had an open mind and I'm questioning everything, and I'm like, why do we want the things that we want? Is this okay? Would I want this? Would I be open to something like this? If all of my needs were being met and someone wanted to, do something with someone else, I think I'm now at the point in my life where I am very secure within myself. Just because someone did something with someone else, I don't think that makes me any less, but I also don't want to spread toxic advice. Overall view, question everything. Why do you want the kid? Why do you want the house? Why do you want the family? Why do you want the whatever? Is it because you lacked something from the past that you're just now waking up to and you're like, oh my God, I have to have this because I never had it, and I'm forcing it and I'm trying to make the pieces work? And I feel like me and a lot of my friends right now are kind of going through phases of, and I'm sure a lot of you too, and I've had a lot of like clients come to me about certain things, but why do we want the things we want? And like, I've had a friend that all she wants is to be a mom and to be married, and she's been forcing it, like all of the cards she's been like forcing, like and she's getting upset when it's not happening. I'm like, you are literally forcing it. You're trying to control the pieces. Let it happen when it's supposed to happen. It will happen if your heart's desire is there. You just have to live your life in the meantime. And the more that you try to force it, the less likely that you're gonna get it. But I'm like, why is it that you want those things? And she's like, I think the only reason I really am like pushing for a relationship right now is because I really want to be a mom. And I'm like, okay, so, you know, you can still be a mom and not have to deal with the headache or having to find someone. Like, if you really are on a time clock and you're like, no, I need to have a kid by a certain age, fine, I get it. There's egg freezing options. There's adoption. There's so many different options. With the right time and the right place, when you are secure within yourself, all of those things will naturally fall into place. Don't stop forcing the pieces because someone says that you should do this or you should do this, or you're doing it out of desperation or lack. The reason she wants a kid was so she can fill the void of her and her mom's dynamic, of her and her mom not getting along and not having that loving mother and daughter relationship. Like, why do you want the things that you want? I think it's okay to question everything. But going back to the patterns of your life and why we keep getting sucked into the same types of lessons over and over and over and over again, I think really your subconscious is telling you what still is left to be healed. And if you're falling back into the person that you used to be, and I've realized like my time here in Dubai has been a lot like my time when I was in Miami, where I was hanging out with a lot of, I don't want to say toxic people, just a lot of fun people, like people who just want to have fun. For me right now, Dubai is kind of starting to feel like, or has been starting to feel like the same thing. Within the last month, I'm like, I need to get my life back on track. I need to figure out what's going to make me happy, what's going to actually make me happy in this place. And if I can't do it in the next like 6 months, I probably won't be in Dubai much longer. Because if this place is draining me that much, I just don't want any part of it. But I think this is like my life is trying to bring me back to the same cycles of which I thought I learned from and I got grounded by. Honestly, it was so weird because when I was living in Miami, I feel like it was just go, 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 party, fun, all this good stuff happening. But did I feel drained and not fulfilled? And this was like a major time in life where I felt like I had a dark night of the soul, where I was fully like healing from parts of myself that I was neglecting, of relationship traumas that I was trying to overcome, about self-confidence and all of these like self-sabotaging patterns where I'm like, where I never felt good enough, where I was people pleasing a lot with friends and everything. And I'm like, a lot of those things maybe didn't come up to the same extreme, but they're still like coming up in this experience that I'm having in Dubai. And I don't think I was like fully aware of it. Maybe I was aware of it, but I'm like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's good. We're moving, we're going, we're doing things. Have I gained anything out of this experience that is going to set me on the trajectory of where I want to go? And if I'm being so honest with myself, I don't think so. And that is when I know that something needed to change. Why do I keep falling into these like self-sabotaging things where, and again, this was definitely not as deep as it was when I lived in Miami. I just remember my experience in Miami of like being home, really, really deep diving into trauma and healing from the trauma, like having hypnotherapy and like bawling my eyes out in my bed, drowning myself in like substances and food and all of these things. And I just didn't feel like myself. I just really was going through it. And when I moved into my family's home after I had left Miami, because I lost my job, I lost my friend group, I lost like My apartment was coming to an end on my lease. And so I was like, life is kicking me out of Miami. I need to get out. I moved in with my family. I feel like I finally got this sense of grounding. And when I had that sense of grounding, my finances increased a lot. My business was doing really well. My content was performing really well. My friendships that were draining me fell short and completely just died out. The friendships that were actually there for me and wanted to grow with me started flourishing a lot, was so much more exciting because I was traveling a lot and I was meeting more aligned people who were actually genuine and wanted something with me and who were emotionally available. And just like, I honestly think when you are grounded in your own identity, that is when you allow things to actually flourish in your life. But the more that you get sucked into old patterns, self-sabotaging, running and moving, impulsive, I think that's just a Sagittarius thing maybe, but just being so impulsive and like, I need to, get out of this. When you don't feel safe, you cannot allow the things that are meant for you in your life, things that you want to manifest in your life, to actually grow and to actually stay. You will end up pushing all of the good things out. If you start making money when you don't feel safe within yourself, you'll end up sabotaging, spending way too much, getting rid of it, giving it away. Whatever the case is, you will end up sabotaging your entire identity because you don't feel safe holding the things that you actually want in life. Your nervous system needs to feel safe and secure in order to get the things that you want. But life will continue to test you every single time you think you've healed from something to see if you actually have. The only difference in how you know if you're healing is if you're choosing a different path. Old me would have done this. Old me would have people pleased, self-sabotage, push something away, overspent, overate, all of the things. Old me would have done that. What is current me gonna do when those lessons start to come back? What is current me gonna do when that really toxic person in my life comes back and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I want you part of my life, whatever. What am I gonna do? Current me, the old me would have said, it's okay, it's fine, you can push my boundaries, you can treat me however you want, that's fine. I forgive you, I really like you, come back into my life, let's hang out, let's be toxic again. Old me would have done that. A new me is choosing a different path. And that's when you know that you're actually on the right track of healing and the patterns have been broken. And don't be surprised if years from now you think that you have learned from that years ago. Don't be surprised when that lesson comes back up. How are you going to respond? How is that version of you going to choose differently? But that is it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you got some good value out of this. And if you have, please leave that 5-star rating, leave that thumbs up, and hit the bell notification so you'll never miss another episode. Hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all next Tuesday.